everyone, welcome back to our day 3 of our journey to becoming Java programmers. Today we are diving into the fundamental concepts of variable storage and primitive data types in Java. Don't worry if it sounds complicated, I'll break it down step by step so that by the end of this video you will have a solid understanding of these concepts. That's great. Now let's start about understanding what variables are. Now let's say I wanted to store my apples. Now how I'll store my apples? I'll either store it in a basket or in a bowl or in a bag, etc. So, in order to store apples or any other vegetables or fruits, we need a basket or bag or any other containers like this, right? So, same goes here in the programming languages. In order to store different values, we need a container to store it. Now, let's say I need to store the number 1. So, I use this box to store this number 1. Let's say I want to store the word called hello. So for storing the word called hello, I'm using this box. Now 1 and hello are not same, right? Now 1 is a number and hello is a word or it's series of text, right? So they both are not same, but still we use the same thing, same box to store it. So these boxes are called as variables in Java. Not only in Java, in any other programming languages, these boxes are called as variables. Fine. So these are called as variables. Okay, now let's implement this very same concept in our Java programming language. So here in the same Java programming language, we have printed a hello world. I have removed it, and here I have created a variable called num, and I've given a value for it, number 2. Now since it is a number, I'm giving its data type as int. Now let's talk about the data type after this execution. And here again with the same syntax what we have used for printing a hello world, I'm using the same syntax system.out.print, and here I am printing the variable now. Now open the terminal, let's compile it, java c space hello.java. No error, fine. Now let's run it. Now why we are getting the same output hello world is because I didn't save the changes what I made here. Okay, so let's give Control S. Let's compile it once again. Yes. Now we are getting this correct value 2. Now here also you can give as int is num2 is equal num2 is equal to 3. And here you can give num plus num2, and here you will get the output as 5. Now let's see, don't forget to save your file, compile it once again, no errors, fine. Now let's run it, and output is 5. Okay, now let's get into what is meant by data types. So let's talk about primitive data types. We have two types of data types in Java. One is primitive data type. Let me talk about the other in the other upcoming videos. Now first let us know about what primitive data types are. Data types. Okay. Now this primitive data type has four categories. Okay. So they are integer, float, characters, and boolean. Now under integers, we have four subdivisions. Those are int, long, then short, int, long, short, and then byte. So as we know, we use these integers for storing the integer values like 1, -1, 0, 2, and all those things. We use float for storing decimal values, and then we use characters for storing characters like hash at or any other values or digits like that. And then we use the boolean value, which is used for storing either true or false. Now in other languages we use 0 or 1 2 for storing the boolean values, whereas in Java it is only true or false. So under integer we have these subdivisions: int, long, short, and byte. Now let's see what's the difference between these four and where are all the places we are supposed to use these data types. So the value range of int is 4 byte. So it has the capacity of 4, long has the capacity of 8 bytes, short has the capacity of 2 bytes, and at last byte has 1 byte. Now this 1 byte ranges from -2 to the power of 7 to 2 to the power of 7 minus 1. That is, you can use byte in the places where the values is between -128 to 127. Okay, so these are all the places where you can use it. And as I said, you can use float as 0.5. So if it is a 0.5, you should use it as 0.5f in order to indicate it as a float. And same goes here in long. In order to indicate it as a long, you should use L. And character, you're not supposed to use double quotes, you should use a single quote. Okay. Now let's implement this in our program. Let's remove all these things. Let's save the first data type int. We give int as num and store it as 2. Fine. Now next, float. Num2 is equal to 0 4.5 f. Good. Then, now let me tell the reason why we use f here. In Java, all the decimal values by default are taken as double. and that's why we use them F to indicate that it is a float. Basically, then we use double num3 is equal to 556.5 int float double. Then what else we have? Long. So num4 is equal to something long, and we use L to indicate that it is a long. Then we have short. Num5 is equal to 4. Alright. Now let's check whether we come across. Don't forget to save your file. Now let's compile it. Perfect. We have no errors encountered here. Now don't look for the output because we haven't printed any output here, right? So we won't get any output. Now let's check for uh, characters. Char. Now here in Java we use character as char. A is equal to, we should use single quotes for a. Now here we come across an error. It is because we are supposed to store only one single character inside a single quote. And then we have boolean. Boolean store as true. Now we don't want to enter true in a quotes because by default boolean has true or false, so we don't want to enter them inside a true. Okay, now let me once again compile it. Perfect, no errors. That's it for today's coding session. We've covered the basics of variable, storage, and primitive data types in Java. Make sure to practice writing code on your own to reinforce what you've learned today. Thanks for coding with me today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Java tutorials. See you next time. Happy coding!